And welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 87 for June 6th, or in Chaz's future case, 7th, 2016. He's in England. It's another day. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers, and Twitter is, of course, SwineBros666, and other magnificent links are on my YouTube channel. I am your host, Elliot Lindemood, along with my usual co-hosts, and a new one for this episode. And introduce yourselves, people.
I am the Jim. I shit on things.
I'm Cheswold Almighty. And Elliot, no.
And we have a new person. Well, actually, he's been on the show a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Anyways, I'm Jesse Slammerella. I host a YouTube channel called Black Metal Rebellion.
Yes, it's awful. No, it's actually really interesting.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And you also played Richmond in the It Crowd.
Well, I played Victor Meldrew, One Foot in the Grave, so there you go. I rant about as much as him, so today's pretty much just going to be a fun episode. We don't really have much. The world hasn't really exploded. I mean, there's been that shooting at UCLA, but I don't really know any details about that. So this is going to be a discussion episode. Yes, Chaz will...
You just said that you think you're Victor Meldrew, and you know what? After hearing that, I just don't believe it.
Ah, there we go. If you want to get that joke, look it up. So, Jim, we don't really have any talking points. Well, I mean, we have some, but we don't really...
Well, since you said it, we may as well talk about it.
Oh, God.
Why is it always a white guy?
Why is it always a white guy?
The roots of modern violent rage.
Well, that's the best kind of rage, isn't it?
Yay.
If it's not violent rage, then it's just boring.
Of course, this is from 2013, but...
I'm assuming just after the Elliot Rodger shooting?
Oh, yeah.
Why did I... Wait, what did I say to spark this?
What did you say? You said there was a shooting, so here's a shooting.
Oh, I was talking about I guess there was a shooting at UCLA Thursday, I think?
Funnily enough, that's also where the... Because that UCLA, wasn't that San Bernardino also?
No, that's not San Bernardino. Stop pretending you know where California is.
I'm sure it was UCLA San Bernardino.
No, there's
Sure
no.
that was it.
It was UC San Bernardino.
Might be what I'm thinking of.
It can't be UCLA San Bernardino because that would make no sense. You have to kind of, speak to Chaz in like little words because his brain just doesn't.
Whatever. Here is saying the LAX shooter once again is reported to be a white male. Here's why they're always first to violence.
Uh-huh. Someone needs to turn down their
Microphone.
Chaz.
Okay, there we go. That cleared some shit up.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, continue. And then we can talk about metal.
Yes, we can. It'll be much more interesting than this.
Yes, it will.
Joe Stack had simply had enough. Every time this 53-year-old independent engineer and software consultant from Austin, Texas, had set aside any money at all for retirement, the Internal Revenue Service seemed to change the tax laws or whittled away at his earnings with new restrictions.
And he was mad as hell. It wasn't going to take it anymore.
Probably. A change in the income tax regulations in 1986 had removed an exemption for software consultants and engineers, effectively consigning them, in his eyes, to low-income wage work. Yay. Join the crowd. I'm going to be going to the fucking county home whenever I get too old to work. Because I'll have no other option.
I'm just going to find a nice cliff to jump off of.
He just couldn't catch a break. He moved from L.A. to Austin, remarried, hoping to get a better contract consulting work. But the wages in Texas were paltry compared to with Southern California. Increasingly despairing that he would never get back on his feet, he began to see the IRS as an agent of discrimination against honest working people.
It's called whoring, okay?
Yes, you must whore thyself. Well, corporate fat cats got bailed out. Adding insult to injury, they'd recently initiated yet another audit against him. Yay, the king of audits. On the morning of February 18th, 2010, he snapped. Perhaps snap is the wrong word. It's too sudden, too precipitous. From Joe's perspective, he'd already bent far past the breaking point. He just couldn't bend anymore. He couldn't accommodate all that weight.
It's called being bored.
And people had to die to solve your boredom.
Isn't that what, what happens?
Yes. That Thursday morning, he set fire to his small house in North Austin. He then drove to a hangar that he rented at the Georgetown Municipal Airport and had cleared his single-engine Piper airplane for takeoff. Thanks for your help, he told the control tower as he left the airfield. Have a great day. 10 minutes later, he flew the plane directly into Echelon 1, the building in a near downtown Austin office complex that housed the IRS.
You're going to suicide bomb someone with a Piper? I mean, I like Pipers. They're a great little private plane, but a single-engine Piper, I think it goes about 100 miles an hour. That's pathetic.
The fully fueled plane exploded into a fireball, killing the pilot and also the IRS manager, a 63-year-old father of 6.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, it was a single-engine private Piper airplane, which is not a very big. I mean, at least a twin-engine plane could have done some real damage.
13 others were injured, 2 seriously. Yeah. I'm trying to think of all the damage here, and I'm just remembering whenever I'd hop until I'd steal a plane on Grand Theft Auto and then bail out and watch it wreck into a tall building.
Yes.
I think it's funny that he burnt down his own house.
I think that was fucking very good and calculated there. Fuck it, I won't need this anymore.
Yeah, right. That's fantastic. You know, I like that he's wealthy enough to own a plane, yet thinks he can't get back on his feet. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he had a fucking plane.
I mean, okay, granted it was a little single-engine plane, but those things. How much would a Piper cost? I mean, probably about as much as a nice car, a sports car maybe, like a not like a fucking supercar, but maybe like a 50,000 or so. I don't know. I'm not really in the market for fucking propeller planes.
I don't know. So I think we should be talking about why is it rich bitches. Because the fucking poor guys just get involved in gang wars. The rich bitches are the ones going off on these shooting sprees. Look at who has the money all the fucking time.
The poor guys just write punk songs about it.
Or get involved in a gang war. Whatever.
Yes. And Jim's been involved in many gang wars, haven't you, Jim?
No, I think that's my problem. But then again, I kind of skipped it because I did sell drugs for a while.
Well, yeah, but who hasn't?
I haven't.
Oh, well, you suck then.
Yes. Mm. In the immediate media flurry, Stack was portrayed as a dangerous individual, which no doubt he was.
No, actually, he's not really anything anymore.
Yes, he's bits and pieces. Charred to a crisp.
Yeah, he's not really that dangerous.
But he had hardly acted spontaneously. Well,
No, it's gotta be
he set his house on fire. That right there says everything was preempted from here.
Yeah, that's gotta be premeditated. You can't. It's like, okay, well, I'm kind of bored today. I'm gonna go set my house on fire, fly my plane into an IRS building.
Did they have a motive, though?
What?
Did they have a motive for what he did?
Yeah, he was paying too much in taxes, so he couldn't retire at the level he wanted to retire at.
Seriously? Is that why?
Well,
Yes.
yeah. Apparently, he couldn't just sell the plane and fucking live off that for a few years. Like 2 or 3 at least.
I mean, maybe he was renting it. I don't know. Maybe he's I mean, yeah, okay. I guess he could rent planes, but if it's a small little Piper, I'm guessing he owned it, at least in part.
Well, there's that, plus the fact that he had a hangar rented for it.
Yeah, those aren't cheap.
Uh-huh. I mean, there's a lot of... those 2 items right there says that's not cheap. Plus, he was a home owner. They didn't say how much the home cost that he burnt down.
I mean, okay, granted, we are talking about a small, tiny little plane, but still, planes are more expensive than cars. I mean, we're not talking about a Learjet, we're talking about a small little plane. But still, it's more than, let's say, Jim could afford.
Fuck. If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't be buying a plane with it. That would go straight into my fucking retirement.
I'd have to buy a plane.
And I might be able to stay out of the county home for a couple more years.
True. Now that you've depressed us and yourself, read on.
Indeed, with as many of these deranged lone wolves who seemed to explode one day out of the blue, Stack's explosion had been brewing for some time. If you check a lot of these things, they are all premeditated to one degree or another.
Yeah, Chaz mentioned Elliot Rodger, who I thought this was what was going to be, but his thing was premeditated. I've actually sat and read his manifesto. I think that was the point where I gave up on life and beliefs and philosophy and trying to find any sort of hope in the world after I read that manifesto. That's probably the most toxic thing I've ever read, and I've read fucking Screwdrivers,
Oh yeah, such a beautiful morning. Oh wow.
Don't sing, we're gonna have to pay royalties.
That Elliot Rodger thing was crazy.
Nah, I mean not really. I mean, he actually botched it horribly.
What, the actual attack?
Yeah, he botched the attack.
Well, yeah, I mean, his entire cunning plan was Baldrickian in its execution.
I love it.
I mean, it's just, I thought the one thing that was more mad was the media circus all around it.
Well, we'll talk about Elliot because we have nothing really to talk. We'll talk about it after, but I want to get through this story just so we don't,
Yes, because later that day, investigators found a lengthy suicide note. Well, where did he leave it? Because he burnt down his house.
Maybe he wrote it in the char. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Which Stack had written and revised over the previous 3 days.
Okay,
Time cube.
I think that sends a little bit wordy. I'm going to take that out. Let's add bastards in time cube.
In this rambling diatribe against the forces that he believed had led him to this murderously suicidal rampage, it wasn't a rampage. He wrecked a plane into a building.
Jim, if you ever get to the point where you're gonna do something crazy, like jump off a cliff or whatever, leave a suicide note behind, but have it just print out all the pages of Time Cube. So it's like my confession by Jim Thompson. 4 simultaneous days.
That couldn't get past the injustice of it all. The fact that there seemed to be 2 sets of rules, which further widened the following in the economic meltdown of 2008. One for the rich and powerful, and the one for the rest of us.
That's not what preceded the economic meltdown of 2008. I'm not going to go in it because I'm not an economist. It puts me to sleep, but...
I don't know, that depends on if you're talking about austerity or not.
But he was able to fly a fucking plane out of a hangar he was renting to house it. So, that right there says he was getting taxed at the rules that the rich were getting taxed at.
I mean, it doesn't matter if what he's getting taxed at. The fact is, like, if I read in the story that he had to sell his car and buy a Ford Pinto, God forbid, or he had to buy a piece of crap Honda Civic. No, he flew his Piper plane, a fully fueled Piper plane that he got from his hangar into a. This doesn't spark me as someone who's desperately, looking to avoid being homeless.
Yeah. I've been there. Fuck. Lost rights to my kids over that fucking bullshit. So this is what you're going to cry and boo-hoo about flying your plane into a building. You know nothing of pain. You know nothing of suffering. Piss the fuck off.
Yeah. Plane into a building.
He's in a better place now because if he was still alive, I would torture him. I would break him out of whatever prison he went to and fucking ruthlessly torture him. Because he knows nothing of true suffering.
My plane, I can't buy the twin-engine Piper. I have to stay single.
Yeah. Fucking dickwad. Why is it, he asks rhetorically, that a handful of thugs and plunderers can commit unthinkable atrocity? And in the case of the GM executives, for scores of years. And when it's time for their gravy train to crash under the weight of their gluttony and overwhelming stupidity, the force of full federal government has no difficulty to coming to their aid within days, if not hours.
Oh, you're just not cynical enough.
Dude, we all know that the government is the fucking cash cow. They only think of making themselves and their friends rich at taxpayer expense.
Yep.
I think that's what this guy is saying, though.
Yeah,
but still, he's saying it in a way that implies that he's not cynical enough to fully embrace that. And that he's, like, somewhat surprised by it.
And somehow, he's not realizing that he has a fucking plane. What about homeless people? What about fucking people that are that down and out?
Yeah,
people that have fucking smoked crack and got themselves there that way. I'm talking about the people that were working a decent job, got laid off, couldn't find anything, dwindled away their savings, just trying to survive. Nothing was coming, and finally it's time to fucking sell the house and fucking move into a fucking, shitty-ass apartment, but then that money runs out, so you fucking sell your car, and now you're living under a bridge. I've met people like that.
Oh, I can sort of go one better with this, because in some ways there was this thing of the government came in and it bailed out the banks in Britain, and in order to do so, it bought large shares in these banks, and that was the solution. But there was everybody else, all of the poor. They suddenly found that their money became more worthless, and they had a huge cost of living crisis. And what has answered that cost of living crisis for now, what we're talking about, 8 years, was payday lenders.
Oh yeah, payday loans. Those are very bright, upstanding people.
Yeah, when I was fucking still married to my ex-wife, hell, she fucking ate those things like candy. I had to force her to fucking stop and just suffer for a paycheck or two, just so we could fucking get back on our feet, because the fucking God,
It becomes a never-ending. It's very easy to circle the drains with the payday lenders because it's like,
Yes.
oh, I have a bit of a short paycheck this month.
It's very easy to sort of. It's almost inevitable.
Yeah, and so you borrow, like you say, you borrow 100. Because I mean, even with the interest, I mean, because it's over a short period of time, it's not that bad. And if you only were going to use it once, it'd be great to have it there, sort of like, oh, I need an extra £100 for something. I got it, and then I can afford it next month to even out. But what's going on with a lot of people is just that £100 is quite a big chunk of their pay slip, and they're paying back £110.
Well, yeah.
So next time they end up borrowing £120 because they borrowed that 110.
The sad thing is people just don't think. I mean, I would look at the situation and go, "This is a scam," and yet,
well, you don't see it like that because it's just when you start them, it is supposed to just be that once, yeah. I mean, these payday lenders are a bit like heroin dealers, and they're a bit like fucking what are they called? King Games, whatever it is. The people who make Candy Crush Saga. Because it starts off with, I'm just going to do it this once, and then it comes to, I'm racking up significant debt by doing this. I would say payday lenders are slightly worse than other things, but the whole thing that caused the 2008 crash was people lending to people who couldn't afford it. What's happened since then is a bunch of people have started lending to people who can't afford it. And we don't see the problem with this.
I just want to finish the thing.
But just to finish up that little tangent there, it did start off as just that once to help us cover rent. Because we had to fucking get a car in order to get to and from work. So we needed money to cover rent. And then it just went every week. We'd pay it off, then get a new one. Pay it off and get a new one. I told her, fuck it, we're going to suffer for a week or two here and fucking fuck it. We got to let go of this shit because it's eating up too much of our money.
Yeah, it starts off with one thing and then, yep. And they get away with it.
Anyway, he described an 80-year-old neighbor, a widow of a steelworker who worked at the mills in central Pennsylvania all his life, believing the promises from the mill owners and the unions that he would have a pension and medical care for a secure retirement. Oh, God, this reminds me of what my mom went through with fucking Jeanette Glass. Instead, he was one of the thousands who got nothing because the incompetent mill management and corrupt union raided their pension funds and stole their retirement. Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's what happened.
That's what happened with Maxwell, wasn't it? Robert Maxwell.
I don't know, Jim. You have a more personal story?
Yeah, this is what fucking happened to my mom. They fucking closed Jeanette Glass, took the pension and retirement funds and all that shit, sold it away. People tried to get a fucking class action against them, denied. They fucking the place is still rotting because the owners will not sell it because they don't want to get blasted for being like toxic pretty much because they didn't fucking dispose of anything whenever they just closed shop and let it burn. Literally let it burn.
Wow.
So it's a dilapidated, charred out fucking carcass just rotting there. And people are trying to get part of it back, but the people just aren't selling it because they don't want to get caught for doing all this shady shit, and they know the EPA will be after them. Even though they already did all the shady shit and got away with all this other shit, they don't want the EPA on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. So they're just going to keep it and...
Yeah, so, fuck all the workers. They didn't care about screwing over all the workers illegally. Because they could get away with that, just skip states, so now they have to fucking go to another state for all that other shit, and it gets bogged down. And it's been bogged down for about 30 years now. So probably over 30 years. I'd have to ask my mom.
Lovely people.
Uh-huh. So, they can't get that. now they're not selling it just because they're actually afraid of the EPA. They're not afraid of the workers, they're afraid of the EPA. So, you know, fuck normal people, fear the government.
Yep.
Well, those loan places don't have to give you the money.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's in their interest to give you the money.
It's
They're
actually
paying them
in.
to get the money. It's not their fault that you can't pay it.
It's in their interest to screw the working man over. At least that's how
Yeah,
they
but then
see
you
it.
could say, oh, it's not on that drug dealer to not sell heroin to a 13-year-old kid.
Well,
It's on that drug dealer to not, it's not on that drug dealer to not enforce people into prostitution to pay for drugs.
I like how you're comparing a normal business to a drug dealer.
Well,
It makes
I mean, when it
perfect
comes to loan companies, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Jim, what were you saying?
I said it made perfect sense to me.
Yes, I know. It made sense. I was just basically saying I just like how you equate. Yes, you're one of us, unfortunately, Chaz.
All she had was a Social Security to live on, and she survives on cat food.
Ew.
Oh,
I think
my
actually
friend,
I heard
my
something
friend
that
survived on dog food and peanut butter.
I think
and
cat food and
bread.
dog food actually, by FDA rules, have to be edible by humans.
Yes, they do.
Because during economic downturn, people buy cat and dog food because it's a very easy way to get hold of meat.
Yes, they have to be edible. Yes, I know my friend who lived on dog food and bread for like, I don't know, 2 years one day. Or
It's
one
salty
stretch
as
of
fuck. It is salty as fuck. You definitely want the wet stuff and the stuff that, not the stuff that's like just like a pure mess out of it, but stuff that comes in chunks that's almost real meat.
It's as salty as Jim.
Well, it is. It's real meat. It's just the parts of the animal that we don't really eat.
Yeah.
It's the parts that are in your
It's
hot dogs.
it's the stuff
Yeah,
that's
the
past the
dogs
bone.
are
Well, you
eating
do eat it
dog
if you go
ass.
to McDonald's.
How
but-
the hell did you get in here?
Hi,
You
Nathan.
press the link.
I put it to 18 plus. You're not 18. How the hell did you get in here?
I have ways of circumventing that.
He just lied about his date of birth.
Okay,
That's
well,
all.
okay, Jim, hurry up, finish the story, because it's Mason time.
Yeah, boy. Where was I? Like so many other guys these days, Stack was mad as hell. Yes, he flipped out. Yes, he was probably clinically insane. But such armchair diagnoses miss the method in his madness, the logic in his psychotic break with reality.
I don't think he was that insane, honestly. I just think he was a baby.
Yeah, a little
I mean,
crybaby.
like
Boo.
I
you.
get what he was ranting about, but unfortunately, he's not really in the position to.
Actually suffer the consequences of what he was ranting about. He had a fucking plane.
Yes,
Uh,
plain.
Stack considered himself a victim of the impersonal forces that wreak havoc with the lives and futures of America's middle class and working class. A labyrinthine impersonal and governmental bureaucracies and the impenetrable corporations whose CEOs and shareholders were lavishly compensated.
Oh, yeah, that's all true, but still. I don't think flying a plane into a building is going to really help with that.
I don't know. Al Qaeda tried it.
It didn't really help, did it?
It got
Allah
it got a hell of a lot more money flowing from the U.S. into the Middle East. That's what they wanted.
True. Now you've just depressed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Halliburton.
It funded ISIS.
Uh-huh.
Yay for ISIS.
Yeah, we did. We did. We funded it.
Anyways, Joe Stack was Joe Six-Pack, Joe Lunch Bucket, Joe
Joe
the Plumber.
Airplane.
No, he was not. He had a fucking airplane, so he was none of those.
Have you ever met? I mean, I knew someone who rented an airplane. I mean, you can rent one for pretty cheap, but he didn't own one. He rented one. Have you ever met someone who actually owned a private plane?
No.
I knew someone who owned an ultralight. Have you ever seen one of those ultralights, Jim? They're one of those basically hand gliders with engines.
I've seen them, yes.
You actually don't need a pilot's license for them. I think you should because they are possibly the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. I remember my dad telling the story about a pilot who was pretty reckless. I think he got his pilot's license taken away. He flew an ultralight of his friend's ultralight, and he got out of it and said, "Now this is a reckless commercial airline pilot, okay, who got his pilot's license taken away for, I believe, having someone else fly the plane for him." And he said something to the effect of, "You better sell that plane because you're gonna kill somebody in it." I love that. Anyway, continue.
He was a new economy everyman. No, he wasn't. Everything piled up on him, and he just lost it. Yeah, but didn't pile up on him the same degree it did people that are far worse than he was.
Yeah, like my friends. Some of whom are dead now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Osama bin Laden just lost it, eh?
Jim, I tried.
Fuck.
I tried, Jim.
Why is he even here?
I fucking made it 18 plus, thinking
you made it 18 plus to make it so I can't even.
All right, let's all fucking just block him.
Yes, after your shit posting on Popular Metal Opinions, yes. Actually, after you started just trying to bait people.
Mason,
Dude.
why are you such a ginormous homosexual?
Don't take the bait.
Bisexual.
Jesse, he can't help but take the bait, you know that.
Dude. What, just because I was baiting people in freaking UMO does not mean that I cannot just... Jeez.
That entire statement there just sounded useless and worthless. Please end yourself.
It's not that you're baiting people, it's that the group is already a cancer. Okay? The group is already a cancer. We don't need.
Dude, I got a freaking post block from some idiot in that group. Some report fag.
I will not make a comment on that. But yes, it was me.
You reported the post about Doro Pesh.
You son of a bitch.
I actually did. Yes, I thought you needed to be taught a lesson. No, I did it, and I had Eric do it too. All I was gonna do was my third account with my second account, and it got taken down. I was like, oh shit.
Holy crap! It actually got taken down. I got a 24-hour post block on my account and a 72-hour message block for some reason.
I'm not sorry. You deserved it for fucking being an idiot. Besides, you deserved it for being a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, being a moron means you deserve to be post blocked. Yeah, totally.
Yes. I mean, I accepted my post block. Besides, you should always have a backup.
You created a different. Yeah. I actually created one today, and you couldn't even tell it was me for some reason.
Oh, I didn't really pay attention. I just kind of added you. I kind of figured it was Mason somebody, but no, it wasn't actually me. No, it wasn't actually.
Oh, okay.
I wish it.
It was probably one of the Ancoms in there getting offended because I said the word tranny.
No, I was going to because you fucking insulted Doro, but you know. Don't insult people I like, or else I'll kill you. No, I was actually just gonna. No, I was gonna send you a profane message, and it said you couldn't accept messages. I was like, oh, that's a shame. I wanted to make fun of him. No, it wasn't actually me.
What group is it?
Unpopular Metal Opinions.
Oh, fuck. I left that thing ages ago.
I left it, and then Shane convinced me to come back, saying that it was better. And then I went back, and I got a post. I got a post. No, I got a 24-hour post block for saying that Bring Me the Horizon was just as faggy as Slipknot.
You know, cancer can go into remission, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
I get you confused with another Jesse, so I thought you were on the group already.
I'm the
Even
nerdier
though-
one.
You're the what?
I'm the nerdier one.
Yeah, true. Although I talk to both, although you have a different name on Facebook, so I don't get, but still,
Yeah, well, that's because Facebook's a cunt and makes me use my birth name.
Yeah, true. I was Azathoth Nyalethita. Are you done with the story, Jim, or? I mean,
We could be, because we know where it's going there.
yeah, I think we just,
Pretty much going to say, this is the fault of the middle-class white man. Whenever this guy was, if he was middle class, he was upper middle class. We could fucking afford a plane.
more
and he
upper
was
middle
trying-
class than I've ever been, and I've been upper middle class at some points, but never that upper middle class. I mean, we had some nice things, but
I've had nice things, but that was when I sold drugs.
But yeah, so viewer, what we're going to do for a while is we're just going to talk amongst ourselves and talk about things that are interesting. And Jim had some personal things he was going to bring up. He said,
Maybe.
so just enjoy. It's a free form show today.
Oh, and if you want to call Mason a little bitch, oh, he's good, he's gone. But you can call Mason a little bitch.
Wait, he's gone.
Yeah.
I did it. I fucking did it. I fucking reported his ass. You're like, I didn't want to hear him bitch and moan, so.
Because we know he would.
So.
And it's not so much the fact that he said he didn't like your favorite band.
No, it was endless posts, endless fucking baiting of people, and I had to put a stop to it.
Just shut up. Quit spamming the joint. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, so I put a, but he was getting also I had to lie and say it, but I did it. I was like I said, I was gonna report him for my second account because I had Eric do it too. I was gonna do a second account and it was already gone. I was like, oh, but yeah, it wasn't so. I mean, I don't care if he pokes fun at my favorite band. I don't. But it was just endless. It was all over my news feed. All his stupid. I mean, it wasn't even his opinion. It was just, him trying to bait the elitists.
Anyway, it's just one last thing on this. Why is it always the white guy? The Virginia Tech shooter was Korean. The Fort Hood shooter was Middle Eastern. The D.C. snipers were black. The D.C. Naval Yard shooter was black. The Chattanooga shooter was Middle Eastern. The Oregon University shooter was black. The San Bernardino shooters were Middle Eastern.
But they don't count.
Apparently they don't.
Yeah, I don't.
It really doesn't matter what color you are. If you're going to fucking do something like this, you're going to do it. Everyone's got their own reasons.
Yep. Hey, by the way...
Not skin color.
Sorry, what was I saying?
It's mentality, not skin color.
Yep. But, weird question, but I was watching a race from So where the hell is Pocono from you, Jim?
How far is Pocono?
The Long Pond, the Poconos. I was watching a race from Pocono today, and I was just wondering about that. I was like, oh yeah, he lives in that state.
Let's see here. I don't know off the top of my head.
I think Nazareth might be near, where's Nazareth? That's another track with the races. Well, I mean, you ask me stupid questions about California all the time. I think you once asked if I lived near San Francisco.
No, I did not ask that, because I know there's a bit of difference there.
Who was it? I think it might have been Chaz who asked if I lived near San Francisco.
No, I didn't ask that.
Yes, you did. It was one of you who did. It wasn't Jesse. It
Wasn't me.
He denies
I
it.
wouldn't ask something that stupid, because, I get here, oh, are you near Philly? No.
No,
I
I
hear
know.
that all the time.
No, I know you're not. All you had to say is you're near Pittsburgh, and I know where that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you're not near Philadelphia. See, I'm fucking good on directions, geography. So you've reinvented yourself, Jesse.
Yeah, I did. I mean, one, just because my name wasn't really that, I guess, searchable. And another reason was just because I've been getting more and more into black metal. And even though I was getting more and more into black metal, I still didn't feel like I was kind of like fitting the black metal YouTube community for whatever reason. Probably just my own personal hang-up, but yeah, so that's why the name for the Black Metal Rebellion channel now.
Hey, Chaz, you might want to mute yourself, I think. I think you're getting a lot of bleed through. We're getting a lot of echo on your end. Yeah, I got into black. I mean, I knew about black metal, but I didn't really get into it until one awesome night where I was on. Do you remember when we were playing? When we were setting up the characters, Jim, for Pathfinder?
I remember when we were doing that. Yes.
With me, you, and Scott, and I decided to listen to a radio station just to pass the time. And it was just this cold night, and I heard some black metal. I was like, yes, this is my thing. So I really got into black metal. But yeah, I've always wanted to start a more music-based show, but every time we try, I mean, I guess this show's kind of music-based as well as politics-based. Although Chaz isn't happy about it because
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yes, he likes glam.
Yeah, my apologies. I don't know shit about politics. I don't really find it that interesting, and no matter who you choose, they're an asshole, so.
Yeah, I know everything about metal. No, not really, but I know a fair bit. Let's put it that way. As Jim's found out. Jim's apparently dead.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just.
What?
It's about a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
About 280 miles.
We got a race of 300 miles away, so it's actually closer than Laguna Seca is to us. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now I have it in perspective. It's always nice to have shit in perspective. But as Jim's found out, I know a great deal about extreme music.
Mm-hmm. I tell him to feed me bands all the time because I do not have the time to go searching for new shit on my own.
And if I don't know any, I ask that Swedish guy to give you bands.
Yes, that'll work.
And then he floods you with bands, and you're just like, stop one at a time.
No, I never said stop one at a time. I'm like, ooh. I have things to play with for a few days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I have to bookmark them all. I'm like, oh, that. Yeah, there's this guy who runs the Grind Over Matter Facebook page. I suggest you all like the Grind Over Matter Facebook page if you want some cool everything from death, black, thrash, everything like that, bands. And he occasionally posts on my wall, and I always tag Jim in it because, I know he'll find shit that he enjoys.
Pretty sure I have it liked.
Oh, I think most people have it. Even the guy from Amoebix has it liked.
From what?
It's Amoebix, one of the original kind of punk meets metal bands.
Oh, okay.
It was a very haunting sound. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about waffles.
Hopefully not blue waffles.
Pus waffles.
Raped waffles.
With blood syrup.
Yes.
You know, blue waffle. Whatever happened to that band?
Well, I don't. I've heard them like once. By the way, I think I've found the worst band name in the history of anything. Even more horrible than I Wrestled the Bear once. I'm in a coffin.
That's awful. Was it
It's,
like gothic rock?
I think it is Death Doom. Let me just hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Tell me that band is at least like not English based, or it's not their first language. Because if it is, that's not even putting effort into a band name.
No, their location is Texas/Massachusetts. Texas, so English isn't the first language. The
All right,
first
makes
language is redneck.
Texas explains it all.
Depressive black metal. It just sounds lame. I'm in a coffin.
Like, good for you?
You want a friggin' medal?
I fucked in a coffin once.
That's hot.
Did you? I fucked on a church altar once.
Yeah,
Oh,
you bastard.
Yes, you are jealous, aren't you? Was the casket closed? That would be awesome. You guys have like no
wasn't.
air.
No, it wasn't closed.
You guys have like no air and you asphyxiate yourselves while fucking.
You
No,
can-
I was on a lot of drugs.
What's that?
What
Yes,
the
a
fuck
lot.
happened?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened here.
What happened was that Mason ran away.
Yeah, I know that much, and that was good.
I didn't know I got a fucking post block though. I just thought I'd get like him a warning or whatever. I would feel guilty about it, but maybe he'll shut up.
No, because, he thinks he's the shit.
I mean, I don't know. I just kind of felt he had to be taught a lesson. So I taught him a lesson. I don't normally. I don't think. I think that might be the first time I've ever reported someone. I never report anyone.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I'll report it to admin. But I hope he never hears this.
He will. That way he has something to go boo-hoo about.
That's true. But whatever. I got.
You can have a good crank to this.
I got post blocks many, many times before. Yes, I've gotten 72-hour blocks on messages too, and that's why I created the alternate account. It wasn't. I thought it was a perma block because that's the way they were saying it. Apparently, it was only for a couple days or whatever. But the reason I created a different account wasn't because I got post blocked. It was because I got message blocked. I mean, I could deal with post block, but it was like the day before Swine Brothers. I needed to tell you guys that the link,
Gotta let people know that shit's happening.
Yeah, there's no point. No one watches this shit. No, I had to tell Jim and the rest of the people. So I got the new Dark Funeral album on Friday, as I told you. It is very, very, very good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna eventually pick that up. The first single, "Nailed Him to the Cross," was fantastic, and then the second single they did was just kind of awful, in my opinion. And then "Unchain Me" or whatever the third single was getting back up there again, and it was pretty decent.
If I'm moving a little bit away from the microphone, I think you're a little too close to the speakers.
Me?
Yeah, I hear a lot of feedback and shit.
Or was that Chaz? Because now it seems to have stopped. Say something.
Okay, so yeah, say something.
Mic test 1 2.
It might be coming from Chaz.
I was muted the entire fucking time.
Okay,
so
yeah, so yeah, I think you're a little too close to the speaker. I mean, it's no, I mean, but yeah, because it's a lot of feedbacking and shit.
So am I too loud, or is just
Too close to the speakers.
No, it's not your too. It's just a lot of feedback and things. and you actually have something interesting to say. So
Yeah.
All right, so maybe I have my speakers up too loud.
now you sound better now. Yeah, I might be speaking. I, I mean, I do it on a headset mic because I actually spent money on this show.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
All right. Well, I turned down the speakers, like from what you guys are, so maybe it's going into the speaker and reflecting back and kind of looping.
Yes, much better.
All right.
Yeah, you were all echoing and feedbacking, and it sounded like an industrial metal band. No, seriously, it sounded like a fucking Ministry song.
Ministry. I don't think I've listened to them before.
I'm not huge on industrial metal.
It's more my thing, but even then, there's only a few standouts, and I only know like first couple Ministry albums were good when it comes to Ministry. I didn't hear anything past that.
I like Berserker.
Yeah, they have some good. Actually, the first Ministry album was New Wave. I've actually heard the first Ministry album. It's hilarious.
Okay, maybe I was thinking.
Yeah, from
There was
the
a couple
90s.
there earlier. Yeah, from the
Yeah.
90s. I didn't hear their new wavy shit.
It's hilarious because the guy sings in a British accent,
Oh
Oh,
God.
beautiful.
and the guy is from Minnesota or wherever the hell he's from, somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know. I don't live in the Midwest.
Yeah, I can't stand the English accent. That's why I can't watch the Harry Potter movies.
I can't stand the Harry Potter movies. Period. I think you've just pissed off Chaz.
I've neither read the books nor seen the movies.
The
To what
books,
story?
the books are actually not bad. I mean, even as an adult, I can actually enjoy them. But the movies, after you've read the books, the movies are just like
What are you talking about?
Harry Potter.
Oh, I don't care about that.
No, he mentioned it, and I had to fucking. But it's always the same with books and movies. I read the book and I enjoy it. I see the movie and I'm just like, no, that is not the way it happened. It happened like this, and then I just get annoyed.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame they can't just get the author to help direct or whatever the hell.
Well, I get why. I mean,
Well,
I
the
get-
author did put a lot of work into the Harry Potter book. She did have a lot of say in casting choices and things like that.
Well, I mean,
But,
my point was,
There is a problem with the way human beings read books and the way human beings read movies are different things. And because of that, a book can cover a whole host of information across pages, which is largely going to be represented by visual aspects.
it's not
but you
visual,
have that
Chaz.
time limit in a movie.
Yeah, it's the time limit.
But it's not just the time limit, it's also how the two mediums are different. It's why things like comic books don't translate well into films. It's why films don't translate well into games.
You can put a lot more information into a book than you can into a movie.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean,
The only thing that bothers me the most is when they fuck up like the couple of main characters. It's like Constantine for one, when they filmed Keanu Reeves as Constantine. One, he never once wore like that beige trench coat. And two, he wasn't blonde. The main character is fucking blonde, so
I just don't think Keanu Reeves is a very good actor, personally.
he has his ups and downs.
He reminds me of friends I had, like surfer friends I had in California.
He will always be Ted Theodore Logan.
I don't get the reference, Jim. What's the reference?
I have no idea what the reference is. Huh?
Bill and Ted.
Okay, I know Bill and Ted.
I haven't watched Bill and Ted in about.
Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, and together they're Wild Stallions.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
watched
don't
that in
feel
10
guilty,
years.
bro.
Okay.
I know Guar did a song for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and so did Megadeth. And Megadeth fucked it up because it was Dave Mustaine was telling a story about how it was originally going to be called Bill and Ted Go to Hell, and so they asked for a dark song about going to hell, and he wrote the song, and then it was called Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and Dave felt like, well, that doesn't look that's kind of out of place in the soundtrack. I thought it was kind of funny. But, fuck Dave Mustaine.
That ginger bitch.
Carrot Head. Corey Taylor says he basically broke his neck on Friday. Too bad he didn't actually do it.
Hey, I'm gonna go see Slipknot. Don't you be saying that.
Why?
Why? Because I don't want to see him replaced by fucking someone like Axl Rose or some shit.
Axl Rose. Actually, I want to see Axl Rose fronting slips. I want to see Axl Rose try to. Yes, I want to see that. I saw Slipknot in 2008, actually, when I was 14.
Well,
Yes.
I'm not really huge on Slipknot anymore. I'm just going to see them just to say I've seen them. I'm looking more forward to the Rob Zombie and Korn show that I'm going to see, and the Black Sabbath The End Tour.
I wanted to go see the Black Sabbath The End Tour until I saw a bootleg concert video from February, and I pretty much decided that it's not worth my money. Here's Ozzy Osbourne. Come on, everyone. Come on, everyone.
Yeah, but at least you could say you've seen him, right? Like, you're only going to do that one time in your life.
Yeah, until they, come out of retirement 2 years later.
Or he dies.
Yeah, but if he dies, they can get one of the decent vocalists back, like Tony Martin.
What the fuck? Fuck that. Sabbath is only Sabbath with Ozzy. Everyone else can blow.
I actually like the Dio and Martin albums. Not better than like Master Reality or Paranoid, but like I liked it much better than the 13 or whatever. I was much more of a Tony Martin fan and a Dio. Well, I'm not really a big Dio fan, but I liked him in Sabbath. But I mean, because I'm not big on reunions. I have to be honest with you. I'm not big on reunions. Yeah, I think, well, you quit the band. Why did you quit the band? Let's examine it. Or you were fired from the band. Why were you fired from the band? Let's examine it. The band moved on organically, and you're in the past. I mean, if Jim left my band 30 years ago, and he wanted to get back in, I don't care if he was on the biggest selling albums. I would have to know that he had completely changed his ways because we fired you for doing too many drugs, Jim.
No, you would fire me for pussing out, not doing enough.
Yeah, no, but why do you want back in the band, Jim?
I need more drug money.
Okay, you're in. So I'm not huge on reunions, but that's me. But yeah, Eric saw them in 2013 or whatever, and wants to go see them again. I would go see them if the tickets were free.
Well, that's the thing, man. Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper, and Rob Zombie are kind of like my bucket list bands to see before either they die or I die. So I'm
pretty sure they're gonna die before. Well, Rob Zombie's not that old.
Hey, man, you never know. You could walk outside and step off the curb and get hit by a bus.
True.
You never know when it comes up.
Someone will use that in a bootleg album cover. My bucket list is Arch Goat, Gorgoroth, Marduk, and, of course, Coven.
Well, you better pack a plane ticket over to Europe then.
Yeah, I know.
Like, shit, I'm really looking forward to the fucking Marduk, Rotting Christ, and Karak and Grand. Not them so much, but in September.
Yes, Rotting Christ, they're playing in L.A. in September as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to see them.
But yeah, it should be sweet.
Marduk is a band that has filled my ears with joy. Who else? Well, yeah, Coven, although I don't know if Coven plays shows anymore. Who else do I want to see? Artery Eruption. I don't even know if they're still together anymore.
I hear they're pretty sloppy.
What?
I hear they're pretty sloppy.
Well, yeah, but that's what makes them great. I heard a couple years ago that they were supposed to be making a new album, but it's been 2 years. Oh yeah, Art Eruption are sloppy, but yeah, so is Archgoat. I like sloppy. I think Blasphemy just play in Canada now.
They're pretty.
They're pretty what?
They're pretty old, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think they play in Canada every now and then.
Like, isn't Blasphemy as old as like Tormentor and Hellhammer?
No, Hellhammer is about a couple years older. Blasphemy came around in 88, 87, 88, and released their first album in 1990. Tormentor came in like 88 or 87 or so.
So like around the same time as Possessed.
Around the same time as Asphyx, Cannibal Corpse, Deicide when they were called Amon, Mayhem. Yeah, that whole era from like 84 to 87 had like so many great bands forming.
Definitely.
Morbid Angel had already formed by then.
Yeah, to be 20 in the 80s, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I know friends who were. I mean, I know a guy who released the Morbid Angel 7-inch in '87. He went he's from Switzerland. He went to Florida in '86 as part of his tour around the U.S. just for fun, and he hung out with Morbid Angel before Pete and David were in the band.
Sweet.
You know, and when they were doing the Abominations record, which I still say is my favorite, and Jim disagrees with me on.
Mm-hmm. I kind of prefer Covenant.
I like that album.
Well, what is Morbid Angel? Are they like death or power metal or something?
Death metal. One
Metal.
of the first ever death metal bands. I mean, even though they didn't release the first album until like '89, they recorded an album in '86, and they're with bands like Possessed, Manta/Death, Massacre, Necrophagia, Pentagram from Chile. I guess you could put Slaughter and Repulsion in there too. Those are like the first ever death metal bands, as in taking thrash metal to a new to a new extreme, and then going beyond that.
Fair enough.
And then you had bands like Bolt Thrower, which came on like about a year later. Of course, you had the precursors like Bathory and Hellhammer and Celtic Frost. And then, of course, you had bands like Cannibal Corpse and Deicide, or Amon as they were called. Asphyx from the Netherlands. Hell Witch. I basically pride myself on. I went through a period where any death metal band that formed between like 84 and 88, I had to hear. Yes, Jim thinks it's good.
Yes. There's so much good. I can't remember half their names now.
That's why he has me here.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he puts up with my, stupidity.
Mm-hmm. I ain't even denying that.
I don't know why you would. I'm perfectly fine with that. I've read an interesting book. If you like the history of metal or black metal and the different bands who shaped it, I recommend the book Black Metal: Evolution of the Cult.
Nice.
It even turned me on to bands that I barely heard of, like Master's Hammer. And I hated that book because every 10 seconds I was stopping to go look at some YouTube clip.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes, that's a beautiful problem to have.
Yeah. Every 10 minutes I was like, oh, I have to hear this album. Finally, 4 hours later, I'm still on chapter 3.
Sounds like a good book.
It is a great book. It's written by, I don't know how he spells first, Dale Patterson. He's a very cool. He writes for Metal Hammer. Don't let that fool you. He's actually decent. I fucking hate Metal Hammer. Linkin Park is not metal,
No, it is not.
but
They're
he
new
writes
metal.
about black metal and shit. And that's where I first heard bands like Archgoat, Beherit. Well, I've heard Beherit, but Blasphemy, and of course the traditional. And then he talks about bands like Life Lover and Primordial. If you like avant-garde stuff, you'll also like it.
I like some avant-garde stuff. It just depends. Like if you're talking like arsonists get all the girls kind of avant-garde, no thanks. But
What a stupid name. I mean, I'm an arsonist and I don't have any fucking girls. Oh, I'm not supposed to admit that publicly. No, I mean like shit like Deathspell Omega or Primordial or things like that that are still definitely heavy, definitely in black metal. I mean, they're not like pretending to be black, but they combine other influences with black metal. Be it a progressive song structure or in Primordial's case, Gaelic folk music, which is a really interesting combination. Black metal and Irish folk music.
so it'd be like if Fintroll did some black metal.
Yes,
Sweet.
it's. I don't know how you could not like it. It's just very happy, just very good. I mean, I have a soft spot for that kind of thing. I never actually heard Fintroll before.
No?
I've heard the name obviously, but I've never heard of them before.
Damn, go listen to Yakin's Tid right now.
Well, I'm doing a show, dumbass.
Well, not now, but later now.
Yeah, I know. I'll put that on the. Well, Jim liked the band Ailstorm, and I used to make fun of them all the time for
Pirate
basically.
metal.
No, Running Wild is pirate metal. No, just kidding. No, I used to make fun of them because I just never really saw anything.
It's hokey,
One-
but it's still good.
It's one day I was at my extended family's house for my grandmother's funeral. This is gonna sound very crass, but you have to understand I didn't know her in the end. But anyway, and I had to get away from them somehow, and I couldn't get away from them physically, so I basically drowned myself in a couple of Guinness stouts. And then for some reason, I put on my iPod and Ailstorm came on, and I suddenly heard the beauty of Ailstorm while drunk.
Drinking music.
Yes, it literally can't get better drinking music. So Jim, you were right, and I was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Drinking music.
And there's that band that does the song called Metal Trolls and Vomit.
I think that's my life. I think that's my life. Jim's favorite metal band is Baby Metal.
Yeah, fuck you.
I make fun of him for liking Baby Metal.
The fact I like it does not mean it is my favorite.
I know it doesn't.
There's
Everyone
worse
who
things to like.
what?
There's
No,
worse
there
things
isn't.
to like.
What's worse to like than Baby Metal?
Well, for example, I like Attila.
Nah. Okay, Jim, you're off the hook.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah. What'd you say you liked? Sorry, I got bumped. Fuck.
Attila.
Okay.
That party
not
deathcore band.
I'm not familiar with them, but from Elliot's sounds good that I'm not familiar with them.
They're not my thing. Let's put it that way. It's okay because I like symphonic power metal and some gothic metal. So there you go.
Hey, gothic metal's good, man. Try fucking Poison Black.
I'll give them a chance. I always give things a chance. But yeah, I have a huge power metal collection because sometimes you just need to hear songs about flying and eagle heart and.
So like Falconer.
Yeah, actually, I've been meaning to get into them. Actually, I've heard a couple songs. I've been meaning to get their discography. Yes, I download on torrents. I'm a bad person.
Just buy when you can.
Oh, of course. I used to have. I don't buy as much anymore because I used to have hundreds of CDs, cassettes, and vinyl, and they all got stolen. So I usually buy a couple albums of a band that I like while I download their discography. And as Shining said, I go to the shows and I hear a lot of bands don't mind torrenting because, as they say themselves, you don't get much money from buying it. The band doesn't get any money from buying the albums, and you get to hear the music anyway. And you go to shows and you get a T-shirt. So I try to go to shows and get T-shirts and shit.
Yeah, man, merch is where it's at.
I have about 60,000 songs on my fucking hard drive. It's obscene, I know.
But yeah, definitely check out some more Falconer. I've got like all their albums except for the newest one.
Yes, they're Swedish, aren't they?
Would not surprise me. I don't actually know their origins.
For some reason, I have a thing. Even with some melodic death metal, I have a thing. If it's from Sweden, I'll check it out. Swedish metal has rarely let me down, except for like some shit. I even like the pop metal.
Sweden is good, yeah.
Yeah, that was horrible. I'll even listen. Okay, I don't like New In Flames, but I don't mind Arch Enemy. I don't mind At the Gates, Dark Tranquility. I'll listen to that shit. But yeah, Swedish metal has never really let me down, except for maybe New In Flames. But and Opeth. But I don't want to talk about Opeth.
Have you heard of Cat?
Yes, I liked them when I was much younger. They're some sort of screamy new metal band. Jim, what do you think of Rob Halford's solo career?
I haven't really checked it out. I have not checked it out at all, in other words.
Does it sound like Two?
What?
Does it sound like Two, the album Voyeurs?
Oh, God, no. No. It is not industrial metal.
Oh.
It sounds like Judas Priest. It's pretty damn good, actually. I mean, if you like old school heavy metal, I actually like the Fight project that he had. The kind of groove thrashy project that he had.
The first rule about Fight Project is you don't talk about Fight Project.
Jim, please hit him. Find out where he's living and hit him.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna have to come to Canada, eh?
Oh, you're from Canada? I thought you were from the Midwest. Why did I think you were from the Midwest?
Fuck if I know. Do I have an accent?
No, you have a little slight Canadian accent, but I don't know why I thought that. Oh, weird. See, it's internet. Well, now we have to talk about Canadian metal. Exciter, Cryptopsy, Blasphemy, Revenge.
Not a big fan of Cryptopsy, actually. I don't know if it's a big appeal.
Yeah.
They're very just meat and potatoes death metal to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge, but I have their shit, but I'm not a huge. I bought Blasphemy Made Flesh and I liked it.
Like anything good, I think that came out of Canada, it probably comes out of Montreal or Quebec City.
Or the Ross Bay. Where's Ross Bay located? The Ross Bay Cemetery.
Good question.
Because that's where Blasphemy used to practice satanic rituals.
Like legit satanic rituals, or just like photo op, like.
Oh no, like legitimate. Their names come from their ritual names. Yeah, like actual legitimate satanic rituals. Yeah, I actually look up the bands because I like to know a little bit about it. And you'd be surprised how many bands actually take it seriously. Like, aren't just in it for the shock value. I mean, some will admit that they're in for the shock value or be like Church of Satan. Some are actually serious about it.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, are they, like, fucking something LeVay?
Some are, some aren't. I mean, I find it interesting if they're a little more serious about their subject matter than, kill Christ, rape a nun, blah, 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 Satan. I find it interesting if they're actually getting into the philosophy of it rather than just, I mean, I'm not dissing Venom because I love Venom, but, that's been done before because Venom did it.
Well, what's the difference between, like, Satanism and Anton LaVey Satanism, which was the name I was searching for? Anton LaVey Satanism is more like a philosophy about certain things. And like
Yes.
what Christians think Satanism is totally different. It's just so dumb because first of all, there's no God, there's no Satan, so you can't worship something that doesn't exist.
It's yeah. There's a difference between devil worship. I mean, I've read into like real left-hand path, like anti-cosmic Satanism, and it's actually very interesting to read about what they believe and things like that. I'm not totally into LaVey for various reasons, but I have my own weird philosophy that I've tried to explain to Jim, but I can't in words yet.
You have to hammer it down.
Yes, with the Hellhammer.
Mm-hmm.
I made a metal reference. I think Chaz is left.
I think.
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I meant mentally left.
It's like I'm just sitting here listening to you assholes prattle on.
Yes. The best metal bands that come out of Canada. Well, Blasphemy, obviously. Revenge.
AMSG.
Who?
AMSG.
Who's that?
Well, it's Ad Majorem Sathanos Gloriam. But like AMSG is like the big kind of Canadian black metal name. Just ask Runner Jama or Wyatt X Him or Count Blagroth. They'll tell you.
Okay, I'll leave my shit. There's one band from what is it? It's a French band, French Canadian, Sorcia de whatever it is.
Oh, Sorcier de Glace.
Yeah, they're really good. I can't pronounce fucking French names, fucking Frenchies.
Yeah,
Speak English.
I like French myself.
Speak English, you damn French Canadians.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had the
die.
either French or German in high school. And I'm like, fuck this, I'm taking German.
I can understand some German and some. I have a weird thing where I can understand some Scandinavian languages. Can't really understand French though. Can barely understand Spanish, which is weird because I live in fucking Southern California. Just saying. I was supposed to take a foreign language. It was either Spanish or French. I was just like, none of them really interest me. Okay, I'll look them up definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Also, check out Hostium and Unkirk.
You have better bands, and you know more bands than I know in my area. I don't really know of any fucking bands. And I mean, obviously, LA produced a lot of bands, but I mean, nowadays.
Like the LA Guns.
Fuck you. Like Terrorizer. Like Slayer.
Fuck Slayer.
Slayer, fuck you then. We're both Slayer fanboys, actually.
Did he just say he didn't like Slayer?
Raining Blood! 10 years later, couldn't come up with a better song!
Nah, I like everything Slayer did, to be honest. The worst album is still something I can listen to, which is not something I could say for most bands.
So, Diablo.
Yeah, I can still actually get into that album. I mean, I can still get into and listen to that album, which I can't do for things like Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth.
Oh god, that one Megadeth album you showed me.
Cooper Collider?
No, Risk. No, Scott. You may remember this guy named Scott. He was the host of Metal Gate. He was talking about how bad Super Collider was, and I said to him, no, you haven't heard Risk yet. So I posted Risk, not knowing poor Jim here would stumble on it.
Because I stopped listening after fucking up Cryptic Writings.
Which is a wise choice. Oh, Celtic Frost. I haven't actually gotten into Cold. Like, I've never finished Cold Lake. After the fourth song, I want to ram my head through something very sharp.
Yeah, wasn't that like glam metal or some shit?
It was their weird attempt at glam metal, but it still had some thrash in it because Celtic Frost couldn't really not write. So it was like their very bad attempt at glam metal with Tom Warrior frog gurgling, "Seduce me tonight."
So Spiegel on vocals?
Not as bad as Cal from Discharge. You've heard that Discharge, right, Jim? The glam metal Discharge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not as bad as that, but yeah, very bad. It was, and the video's hilarious. According to my friend Eric, they look, yeah, like.
And here's me thinking most of the glam metal Discharge ran down Pamela Anderson's leg.
No, well, the glam metal Discharge was an album called Grave New World, which I unfortunately sat through all 44 minutes of my life, and I'm having fucking flashbacks. Change the subject to the subject.
Oh.
Speaking of glam metal, have you
Archgoat.
seen the Twisted Sister documentary?
No, I have not. I don't.
Despite being glam metal, it's actually a pretty interesting story. Mainly just because all the shit that they had to go through, and all the clubs that they had to do, and they never thought they were going to get anywhere. And finally, at the end of the fucking documentary, they actually get signed by whoever they got signed to. But just
They never thought they're going away. Now Dee Snider's on every fucking reality show on VH1.
I still gotta respect them for trying as hard as they did.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just making fun of the fact that he's become a reality show whore.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do for money, I guess.
Yeah, some people, you know, whore in the streets. Other people, I think I'd rather be a whore, to be honest. That's just me, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm not. Let's poke fun at Joe. What other fucking mainstream music do you like? Oh, Jim likes Cradle of Filth.
Yeah.
But then again, I do too. So what am I?
Well, if you like it, I'm selling my collection minus the first two albums because I already sold them.
You did a whole thing about your mainstream music. I haven't seen it because I don't know if it's audio or just pictures. But you did like 18 mainstream music collection videos. So.
Yeah, no, they were all videos. It's basically just going through all the shit I collected from when I was like 12 years old to like 18 before I actually got a real taste in music.
I got into metal at 12, funny enough, Cannibal Corpse, and then so I got into Burzum, because the funny thing is, so I got into Cannibal Corpse, and then I heard metal, or I heard that this band Behemoth, who did a cover of a Nine Inch Nails song. That's how I heard Behemoth. I was lame. Were originally something called black metal. I didn't know anything about black metal. And then Metalocalypse kept making black metal references, so I had to look up black metal in Burzum, and I was just like, you know, and of course the first thing I read was murder, church burning, suicide, murder. You know, I was like, wow, this is. So then I got into Burzum and shit. The weirdest CD I ever had was a CD of bagpipe music, because I really like the sound of bagpipes. Still do. I got it when I was 6.
Then you should like the Mudmen.
Who?
The Mudmen. I like the Irish kind of like folky.
I've never heard. Oh, I'll look them up. Yeah, it was a CD of. Yeah, it was a CD of bagpipe music. It was. He played that shit up and down. No one else liked it, but I did. I don't know. I've always had funny tastes. Then, Jim, you like Tibetan monk chants or whatever.
Yeah. No,
what?
Well, I had some of the more horrible ones. Like, there's really good ones out there, but then there's ones where it's like, I don't even know what the hell they're trying for. And I got, like, this one disc of them, and me and my aunt jokingly call it the Manic Depressive Christmas. Because, like, it just congeals into no sense whatsoever.
Which I'm actually not making fun of you for liking it. I find some of that shit really interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying this particular one I heard, I was like, what the fuck? This is wild. It's something I would definitely need to be on drugs to truly appreciate.
The Manic Depressive Christmas. That needs to be an album title by some, like, suicidal black metal band or some shit. I think
There was definitely a song I've heard. Is like Heart Must Go On, but it was done in like black metal fashion.
What song was it?
I think it was like My Heart Must Go On or something like that. I don't know.
They
But
make videos like that all the time where they're, like I've heard a death metal version of "It's a Beautiful World" or "It's a Wonderful World" or whatever the fuck that song is.
yeah, I think there's one band called the Ten Masked Men. They do a bunch of like pop songs, but in metal fashion.
I know. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I have to look that up.
Well, like they do songs like "Cry Me a River" and that one song by Shakira that isn't "Hips Don't Lie."
Good God. You better. You can cry me a river, but it better be a river of acid. I want to
It's actually pretty
see.
funny.
I want to see your eyes just bleeding out as you cry acid.
That's pretty metal.
Yes, it is. That's why I say it. And the funny thing is, people think I'm some sort of try-hard. Yet I just had a vid. It was funny. Jim was talking one day on the show, and I all of a sudden had a weird vision of me just strangling him. It wasn't anything he said. It was just like, this is a perfect opportunity for you to die.
And now, are you gonna strangle him with your hands or with like around his neck with your arm?
No, I was strangling with hands, but yeah, it was just a weird like. This would be a good opportunity for you. This would be a good time for you to die, Jim.
No joy of joys, the many deaths of Jim.
Yes, and if you want to hear the many deaths of Jim, listen to the War Story Without the War videos on the Cult of the Jim. Yes, listen to those.
I still gotta compile those into shorter bits.
Yes, but you can listen to the unedited ones if you have nothing else to do. And laugh at our stupidity.
Oh, yeah.
We were telling stories from our misspent childhoods. Many
Mine
years.
was longer because mine was many more years ago and spanned most of a decade.
Yes, whereas mine stopped abruptly when I was 17 when my best friend died. And, but still, it was fun.
Yeah.
Should restart it. I should just go ape shit just one day.
I'm just still contemplating, It's still in the debating phase, because if this job doesn't pick me up, I'll be at least in a position where I will have a vehicle that'll hopefully run for a while. And then the question becomes, do I leave the state and just fucking go somewhere else, or tough it out here, because I'm starting to get too old to actually make such a risky call. But at the same time, I'm not that old quite yet, so...
It's a decision I can't...
I know you can't make it for me. It's something I have to debate,
No,
but...
no, I'm just saying, but... I obviously... You should look at your options, definitely. Look at... Do you have to move state? Can you just move interstate?
Yeah, how many states away, or do I just go to the other side of this state, or
Shit,
whatever?
come to California. We have a trailer you can bunk in.
Yeah, a trailer. That's what
I had a fucking weird dream that you were like living in the trailer beside. It's not a huge, but you were living in a trailer beside my house with some girl, and you were pissed at her that she was dating someone behind your back. But it wasn't that you were dating; it was that you were dating someone you didn't like because you thought he was like a rapist or something. It was the weirdest fucking dream. I don't know what I was like. I woke up and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
It sounds like something that would happen to me as well.
Yes.
Named Ted Bundy.
Jim isn't Ted Bundy.
No, I said the person that he was dreaming that she was dating.
Oh, no.
I might actually approve of that.
No, I was gonna make a joke. Jim isn't Ted Bundy, at least not until the bodies are found.
Exactly.
Yeah, the person. Yeah, that was the thing. You were like, I don't like the guy. He's some sort of rape. I don't like the guy. And she's like, oh, you're so judgmental. I was like, I'm trying to sleep. Shut up. That's the weirdest fucking dream. But yeah, come to California. You can bunk in a trailer.
Yeah, bunk in a trailer. And how much does that cost me?
Couple BJs a night.
Well, you have to pay me in beer. How about that?
Beer? Oh yeah, beer. That sounds good.
Cool, blowjob.
Beer should be doable. I'm not gonna do blowjobs. I'm not.
Never listen to Jesse. No. He gives bad ideas.
See, that's something I reserve for whenever I'm sleeping under a bridge again. If that happens again, then I'll start contemplating that again.
$20 a pogo.
Are you naming your price there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah.
That's his sordid past there, I guess.
I'm bi. I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
Well, there you go.
I'd be like charging chicks $20 to eat them out. You wouldn't care.
No, I would not.
See? Same thing.
I got $20 to fuck a chick once.
If they're not metal, I charge them $20 to go away from me. I can't date.
Fuck off.
I can't date non-metal girls anymore. It's gotten to the point where literally I'm just because I don't know if anyone realizes it. Sarcasm here. Music is probably the number one thing in my life. I mean, I've tried to hide it so well, right, Jim?
Yeah.
I've tried to hide so well, but yes. So it's kind of like, well, what kind of music are you into? I'm into R&B and rap. Well, we've just lost everything we can talk about.
All you need in common is sex and ice cream.
And music. You need metal too. Metal and sex work. You'd have no idea how great the sex is to artery eruptions ripped with anal forceps.
Mine was just a deathgasm reference.
Yes, I know what it was. I'm not totally stupid.
Deathgasm. Sounds interesting.
The best part of the movie is when the guy comes in and then there's like, hey, we could name it the band, and the one guy says like something stupid, and the other guy's like, no, we're naming it Deathgasm. He's like, well, or we could call it. He's like, no, it's fucking Deathgasm, bitches, and he kicks over something and starts playing. He's like, wow.
I think that's how a lot of bands get their names.
One guy comes up with a name, the bassist says something, he gets slapped, and then it just becomes whatever the vocalist says it was.
I mean, there's a real band called Gorgasm.
That's cool.
I mean, I love the band, but I'm just thinking hey, you know what we should call this band? What? Gorgasm. Cool, man.
It just kind of reminds me of the band that's called Stages of Decomposition.
Yes, they're from my area.
It's just like you couldn't have thought of something better than Stages of Decomposition.
Well, yeah. They're probably one of the only slam bands from my... No, them, Colposcopy, however you say that, and Sick.
Colposcopy.
Yeah, and Sick are about the three slam bands from Southern California that I know of. And Sick is by far my favorite. I don't know if you've heard the band Sick.
Yeah, I've heard a couple other tracks, I think. I actually, despite ripping on their name, I actually really like Stages of Decomposition.
I liked them, except for they were a little, like, I listened to them when I was in the mood for slam. They were a little too old school, but once I was in the mood for more old school, they were fine. But it's just I heard them originally when I was in the wrong, mood. Oh yeah, Stages of Decomposition. Yeah, that's a pretty dumb name, but I just like that there's some sort of slam scene from my area, because in the valley where I live, it's all death thrash and power violence. I mean, I love death thrash, I love that early thrash sound, but it's just all over the place, So it's like, can we have something different, please?
Well, it's sort of like up in my area, man. I mean, like, Toronto and Oshawa and, like, in between, like, it's all a bunch of fucking deathcore bands. It's like, how many breakdowns can you hear before you just want to, like, Kurt Cobain yourself?
If I hear about one more, I might want to Kurt Cobain myself. Because then I had to. Okay, I was listening to Liquid Metal the other Sunday because we were out playing in the off road, and of course I wanted to listen to metal, and the only thing was Liquid Metal. And they played some really good things. They played Worms. They played Extreme Noise Terror. They played oh god, what are the Suffocation, Marduk. I want to say Obituary. But you had to deal with Jim's listening to Liquid Metal. You know they play some good shit.
Yeah, but then
But they also play some, and they were doing this special album thing where they were talking about the new Hell Yeah album.
Oh God.
And I had to hear 3 tracks from the album. I have heard 3 Hell Yeah tracks from the new album.
Is Chad Gray, is he singing for them still?
What? Yes.
Chad Gray?
Yes. Yeah? Yes, he is. And Vinnie Paul with his fucking. God, I hate Vinnie. They also played some good early Metallica and Slayer and shit, but it was just like, and then this guy played East Coast hardcore covers, but it was mainly hardcore from the early '90s. You know, like Propane and shit like that. You know, like the kind of I call it groovecore.
Like really cheesy shit, yeah.
Like the kind that it's like hardcore punk meets Pantera.
Oh,
I mean, I'm an old school hardcore head. I love hardcore punk, but I like the '80s shit. I don't like the the '90s shit. So of course I wrote Scotty a little message saying basically you fucking suck. And then I heard everything from New Crowbar to Soulfly. Not good new Soulfly, early Soulfly. You know, when they were a new metal band. Yeah, it was.
All of my Soulfly, so.
And then they played. What?
And the only like punk or crust punk or whatever that is I could get into is stuff like Young and in the Way, where it's like crust punk mixed with black metal.
I can get into crust punk just because I like Discharge, but I prefer, just a little bit of it. But I like Discharge, so I can tolerate crust punk, but it just gets so. Yes, we get it. You like Discharge, yeah, whatever. It just. But it was an interesting. And then they played Wormed out of. I thought that would be too heavy for them to play on anything but their. Liquid Metal does this thing called Beyond the Pit, which is their heavy fucking hour of, brutal death metal and grindcore, which I recommend listening to it on demand because it's really good. But they played Worm during the off hours or during the normal hours, and I was just like, yes, we finally get to hear something good. And if you want, I think the best new album this year has been Worm's new album, followed by Necrotic Entity's 2 albums featuring the black metal goddess herself, then the new Dark Funeral album. And the new Abath album. Abath. Oh, they played Abath too. That was pretty cool.
Nice. I got the new Abath. It's pretty decent. Like, if you like the last 2 Immortal albums, there's no way you're not going to like the new Abath. The Dark Funeral, like I said, definitely got to pick that up eventually. I do have to pick up the 2 albums before that one, though. I think I only have the first 3 Dark Funeral. And as for Wormed, holy shit. The first time I heard Wormed was, like, back in 2008.
I heard Human Mincer before Worm. The band that the singer's from, the other band the singer was in?
Yeah, I got embryonized.
He wasn't in the. I'm talking about Degradation Paradox. That's the only album he actually sings on. It feels weird calling it singing. But I heard that and I thought it was amazing. Because that was the first time I ever heard really brutal death metal. I heard like Cannibal Corpse, like Tomb of the Mutilated, but it was the first time I'd ever heard the really.
That's pretty crazy when it gets from like just regular old school death metal like Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Decapitated, 6 Feet Under, and then goes to something like fucking Coprocephalic or like Secrete.
And then I got into Slam later, and then they said that Worms was even more extreme than Human Mincer, and I was like, I've got to check this out. So 7 months of chasing the first album. This is before their second album. This is when they were just a one album, Planispherium band. 7 months after checking, looking for it, I finally found it and got my skull caved in. And that was when I really got into brutal death metal. And of course, Slam came around later with people like Darren Palmer, who bitches at me because I don't like any of his shit, even though he actually turned me on to Slam. I just don't like any of his actual bands. Sorry, Darren, that's my opinion. Bass drops.
I'm not allowed to give my opinion on Darren Palmer.
Why did he? Oh God, I don't even want to ask. He fucking. I posted one of his shit randomly, not even knowing that he could see it or not knowing how he would see it, and basically said, yeah, I didn't like it because of the bass drops and things like that. And he started bitching at like, well, that just goes to show that, people who are nice to you are dicks. And I'm just like, I never said I didn't like you. I said I didn't care for the record. I made no pretense of that.
Wait, Darren Palmer said it's nice to know that people that are nice to you treat you like dicks.
Like people who were nice to you back then treat you like dicks or whatever. It's just like, dude, I never made any pretense to the fact that I wasn't really a fan of your band, because I thought he was just kind of just.
Well, it's funny him saying that because
yes, it is.
He's a little guilty of that himself.
Oh yeah, isn't he? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he and I crossed paths. He was friends with I don't know if you're familiar with the band Deceived. They're from LA. He was friends with one of the. He was friends with the singer, and I got in. I saw them live opening up for Anvil, and I got to know them, and but yeah, whatever. But it's just. But I have to give him some credit. He introduced me to Slam and shit. So. And then I met his friend Mason Denton or whatever his name is. That guy's a fucking weirdo. I like him.
I don't think I know him.
I actually like your shit. Like your shit's actually, enjoyable.
My stuff?
Yeah.
You mean like the Slammerella single that I released forever ago?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, I don't know when the next Slammerella release is gonna be. Just because the person that I got that track made for me was in Filleted Horror, Daniel something. He also worked with Des from Necrophilia, and he worked with me on that song, Your Days Are Numbered, and then got that finished. I've been having a hell of a time trying to get a hold of the guy. He must just have a really, really busy schedule with his wife and kids and other projects he's got going on. Or he just doesn't want to work with me anymore. I don't know why he wouldn't. As far as I'm aware, we're cool, but who knows? Maybe someone else got to him and spread some rumors about me.
He's actually. I heard he's actually having fun partying on a beach somewhere. That's my rumor.
Big day. All right, so that's why I'm not hearing from him. I thought it was something I did.
No, I've had people like that. People who I was nice and all of a sudden like, you're a dick. And I was like, well, why? Well, you were mean to that one guy. I was like, yeah. What does it matter if I was a dick to that one guy? That doesn't mean anything about I wasn't a dick to you. What does it matter if maybe he started it?
Yeah, I definitely know that. I mean, people think that I'm a dick because I don't like Bob from Cuff, but they don't stop to ask, why I've got, issues with him. So.
Oh yeah, I have issues with many people from the fucking YouTube community, and also some of the death metal community. I actually got the band Sheer Terror to disable their comments on their Facebook page because I think I called them like New York macho jocks or whatever. And very thin-skinned they are because after that they disabled their comment section.
Well, thank God.
And they're like 30 years older than me. I love it. They've been going around since at least the mid-late 80s or early 90s, and yet me calling them New York jocks, which is basically what they were and still are, got them to disable their comment section. Love them.
they know that they can just block individual users, right? They don't have to disable the entire comment section.
They actually sent out a huge thing like, we're sorry we have to disable the comment section, but we've been getting disruptive comments. And nobody cared. Everyone was like, you just because that one blind guy said something, really?
Are you actually blind?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just a joke.
No.
No.
Oh, I feel bad.
No, don't be. Don't feel bad. Because if it's a joke, I'm a damn good actor.
Yeah.
I wish it was a joke, because that'd be the fucking most awesome thing. I was able to fool my parents, the entire world, even myself, into thinking I was blind.
That would have just said, that was way too many drugs, son. Way too many drugs.
Oh, it's like the time where one of my favorite stories that I don't think we told on the war stories about wars was you sent guar fish porn.
Yeah. I sent them, because this is like right after they released We Kill Everything. And I was surfing around online listening to it, and fish fuck was on, so I typed in fish fucker. And first picture I found was this chick. It was a photo set of this chick fucking a fish. So I grabbed the juiciest one of like it going up her cunt and fucking shipped it to Guar, and they said, "You're fucked up, son." Don't know who was in charge of the account, but someone from Guar said I was fucked up.
Yes, Varg Vikernes rejected our invitation to come on the show, by the way.
Yes, we should wear that with pride.
Yes.
Because he actually took the time, because instead of just ignoring us, he took the time to respond saying no.
Yeah. He could have just ignored us, which I thought he was going to do. I was like, oh shit. I couldn't actually, and then it fucking played a prank on me where I couldn't actually read my computer played a horrible, where I couldn't actually read the email. So I had to forward it to Jim, and all it said was like, thanks, but no thanks. I was like, and I couldn't even read that. It was fucking stupid.
Yeah. But like I said, that's something to wear with pride. He actually took the time out to say something that simple.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually responds to the amount of stuff he does on his channel. Let alone, like, I'm still like reeling from the fact that he actually has a YouTube channel. It just seems weird that Varg himself would spend time to like put his thoughts and opinions on the internet for other people to, indulge in, especially video-wise and like comment.
Well, yeah, because he's so anti-technology and shit, or at least, and doesn't have a Facebook or anything like that. So yes, it does actually surprise me. His rants are getting more and more paranoid. I love it.
That sounds great.
He doesn't sound crazy. He sounds like he has his agenda that he likes to talk about and his beliefs. We don't really have outstanding proof to, rebuke what he's saying, but it's interesting. Like, I do watch his channel and I'm subscribed to it, and I'll click on the odd video that he uploads, and
I'll read his rantings every now, or writings every now. And the funny thing is, he actually does sound rational. That's the funny thing. He can make opinions that I totally disagree with and find objectionable sound rational. Like he actually put thought into them. I mean, I'd rather hear that than someone jumping on the bandwagon of whatever I'm supporting, and for no reason. I'd rather hear someone go, yes, I'm a neo-Nazi, and here's a 500-page essay on why I am. I don't agree with you at all, but at least you put thought into it. And as Jim said, debate him and don't just,
Yeah, you have to. Fucking, I just got so sick and tired of putting forth my A game with a lot of this shit. But back in the day, I really had to put forth my A game when I was debating my neo-Nazi friends. 2 of them in particular. The rest were cretins, not really worth the debate. But these 2 friends of mine, they were brainy. They researched their points and all this stuff. So I'd have to fucking go through and research. And I even went through their rules. And the funny part was, like, they said, well, you can't use this, that, and the other thing as resources. And I was like, fine, I'll play along. I didn't understand why I couldn't use them as resources. figuring it was just them being paranoid. Then here, years later, I find out everything these places were up to. It's like, damn. So this is just propaganda from the other side of the fence. Well, at least I was good in not using them as resources.
Really quick, someone just said Chad's needs to face. I don't know what that means. Whatever. Anyway, but I mean, my whole thing has always been, oh yeah, I mean, you saw the shit that I got when someone said something about, if you're a racist, I don't want anything to do with you, and all I said was, why don't you debate them rather and try to convince them and try to debunk them rather than just ignore them, and he said I was backing racists and homophobes.
That's not backing them. That's actually confronting them. Oh, God.
Because I understand
People are just so shallow they can't fucking hack someone that's got a difference of opinion, regardless of how extreme or how lame.
I mean, I understand some people can't be persuaded. Some people are too stupid to be persuaded, but some aren't too stupid to be persuaded.
On top of that, you get the idea out there for others to disseminate.
Yeah, and you always have middle-of-the-road people who maybe were brought up in this family, but who are getting around to experiencing the world, and if all they see is shit backing what their family says about how the evil gays or whatever, they're gonna believe this. But if they see, oh, there's someone saying something different. Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna look into it. So, but no, we'd rather just segregate everyone who has beliefs we disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the problem with the human race, man. I mean, they react to things that they don't understand in two ways, fear or anger.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about from the 60s, Southern bigots had their minds changed by black people from the South who went about their business and faced down racial, segregation and shit like that, who didn't just back up. And they were like, wow, these people, this is everything I'd been taught, that they were weak and shit like that. This is totally wrong. That's impressive, and that changed a lot of people's perceptions on, race relations and shit like that. I'm not saying it works for everyone, but I know at least one or two people who were like, we were brought up this way and we saw this and we changed our ways or whatever. So,
yeah, well, it's because people who are prejudiced and bigots are they're too complacent with just having points of view handed to them from either their parents or from the social media. They don't really like to actually put the effort in themselves to form a thought-out opinion.
Well, and that's why we should confront people with different opinions. I mean, yeah, Jim has a story about, what was it, a Nazi girl you knew? And her roommate?
Yeah, they forced her to have a Jewish roommate in college so that the Nazi girl would confront what she hated the most. Eventually, though, she ended up having a solo room because they did not get along.
Forced her to have a Jewish
roommate? Yeah, because they gave you dorm assignments.
Okay, but that's not forcing them to have a Jewish roommate. That's just having a placement of a person who just happens to be Jewish. You can't force. That's just silly.
Well, I say forced, you say just typical placement, but it is the way the placement worked. And after a couple weeks, she got a room all to herself. So, yeah.
Well, I didn't mean what you said was silly. I just meant if that was the opinion of said Nazi person.
No, actually, what happened was she was like tied down and beaten in order to have a Jewish roommate. That's actually that would be fucking awesome. You're gonna fucking do this. Bam, bam, bam.
Funny thing is, years later, she gave up on the whole entire racism angle and went into Satanism. I think she's Order of Seven Angels or some offshoot thereof. I don't know.
Huh, I'll have to look that up. I know some racist Satanists, but I also know some Satanists who aren't racist. I mean, I know, and I'm friends with some who are left-hand path actual into a deity of Satan, and I know some who are not, and my belief is my belief. But I know people who are, are into both. It's interesting. I'd rather hear shit about Satanism and shit like that than, because atheism to me, it's in, but I've heard it all. Because all atheism is, if you want to get right down to it, is there is no God. Now, if you want to, humorism and things like that, that is not atheism. That's a extension of atheism, if you want. But it's not, all atheism is one word or 4 words.
There are no deities.
Yes. But yeah, I find it interesting to have people with different views on my list, so I can actually hear, different opinions. I find that interesting. I always like debate, and I always like finding out. Maybe it'll even impact my life somewhat. I don't know.
Well, I always say I'm atheist, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't believe that God would be what all these religions believe God would be like. He's not the Christian God of light. He's not, Hare Krishna or whatever the fuck their thing is. I believe that if there was a God, the only thing it would just be the ultimate evolution of a sentient being in the universe, and that God wouldn't give a shit about us. So,
well, see, Jim has a belief that I can actually kind of make sense.
The whole thing is that, in my eyes, deity would have to be a force that would be beyond our comprehension ever. When you consider the scale of the universe, and that if everything was under its control, then, it would have to operate on such a magnitude that there is no means of comprehending it. It would just drive you fucking insane.
It's a very kind of Lovecraftian thought there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's sort of what I delved into a bit there, and there's more shit I gotta fucking hammer out to get it complete, but...
Right. We can still talk, but I'm going to cut the stream off here because we've been doing this for a couple hours.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
well, in that case, thanks for having me.
I mean, we can still talk and shit. I'm just going to, So anyway, this has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 87 for June 6th, I think, 2016. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can email us at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Well, email me, and if it's for someone else, I'll send it around to you. I'll forward it to whoever it is. Facebook is Swine Brothers, and of course, Twitter is Swine Bros 666. For whatever you're calling yourself, what are you calling yourself now? Black Metal what?
Black Metal Rebellion.
Black Metal Rebellion, Slamorella, Jesse guy. For Chaz, for the reported Mason, for my co-host, as always, is the Jim. I have been Ellie Lindemood. We'll see you Friday, we'll see you Friday.